And what was really important to me in writing it was to show Grace as her friend, being able to role model what do you do when you're the friend listening to this story, and how do you come alongside and be able to be what that friend needs when they're finally being vulnerable enough to say, here's my situation.
We'll talk about this and much more today. Welcome to a Writer's Day podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back to a Writer's Day podcast. I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to hear from a best-selling, prolific author that is going to inspire you. I just know it. So stay tuned. And my name is Ruth Douthit, and I'm an award-winning multi-published author of books in various genres. And I started this podcast, 6 years ago, to talk about all things writing and to be inspired by amazing best-selling authors like my guest today. So head over to my website at artbyruth.com and sign up for my newsletter so you can hear more about my upcoming projects and about my latest release, Fatal Standoff, my upcoming projects like my dragon coloring book. I'm starting to work on that right now, doing all the artwork. And so that book will be out this fall, perfect just in time for Christmas. And of course, you'll learn new things about my upcoming book 3 in my Love and Romance in Italy series. And you'll have the title reveal and the cover reveal coming soon. So sign up for my newsletter at artbyruth.com today. And if you like what you hear today in this episode, be sure to follow me, subscribe, and leave me a review. I'd love to know your thoughts about A Writer's Day. Okay, let's get started. Robin Jones Gunn is here with me today again to talk about book 2 in her Suitcase Sisters series. She is the best-selling and award-winning author of over 100 books, and she has sold more than 6 million copies worldwide. And last time we talked about the book 1 in this series, Tea with Elephants, and today we're going to be talking about book 2, Gelato at the Villas. We're heading to Italy. So you know the drill. Grab your favorite beverage, a comfortable chair, kick back and relax as we head to Italy for more adventures with Robin. Hey everyone, I'm super excited to have Robin Jones Gunn with me again today. Welcome back, Robin.
Thank you, Ruth. I enjoyed our talk. Last time we did an interview, and I was so happy when I saw your name pop up on the list for more interviewing. It's just fun to chat with you.
Oh, wonderful. That warms my heart. Yes, I love talking about Tea with Elephants, but this time we're heading to Italy. But first, before we talk about your amazing book, why don't you catch us up as to what you've been up to in 2025?
I have been writing quite a bit. I have a lovely gift book that released in May with Harvest House Publishers, and it's called By the Sea. It's hardback, it has beautiful pictures, and it's a collection of poems, essays, verses, just poems, did I say that? And it was a book that I was invited to write, which is always kind of a dream for a writer, that a woman at Harvest House Publishers that I had worked with a long time ago said, you know, when you guys lived in Hawaii and you were always posting on social media, you'd sometimes post little pictures and verses and little stories about what you did at the beach. And now that you moved to Southern California, you aren't posting that many pictures anymore. And I just miss it. And I wondered if you collected those, if you might want to put them together in a gift book, because we're looking for something like that. So that was pretty ideal. So she had already come up with the title By the Sea, which I loved. And we worked together to put this book together. And you know, both of us were thinking how you read what scientists say before you go to bed at night, get away from your phone, before you go to sleep, just read something. Even 5 minutes of reading can reset your brain and just give you uplifting thoughts and, you know, just be comforting and soothing. And so we were looking at this book as that's it. This little sweet hardback can go right next to the bed, and readers can just read a little portion and go, ah, and feel like they're going to sleep with the sound of the ocean. So, yeah, that's been a really fun book to launch. And then in August is we're going to talk about Gelato at the Villa, the second Suitcase Sister book. And so it's just been a lot of book stuff, which
Oh, how wonderful. Oh, I can hardly wait to look up that book. By the Sea, Poems and Essays and Pictures. Oh, it sounds wonderful. And so were you able to do any writers' conferences or at all?
not this year. I am leaving for Brazil in 3 weeks for a really large conference and lots of speaking in churches and schools. I'll just be down in Sao Paulo for 1 week. Our son is going with me, so he and I are looking forward to a mother-son adventure. It's been a long time since he and I have done anything like that together, so that'll be fun.
Oh, it sounds amazing. We can hardly wait to hear about it. Are you going to post about it on your social media?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Terrific. Have you experienced any changes in your writing process over the years? Or is it
Well,
pretty much the same?
yeah, I used to get up really early in the morning, especially when I first started writing. I had a pattern set of 3 days a week, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd write from 3 to 7. And that was, when the kids were little. And that just stayed with me for about 15 years or so. And then now that I do have more time during the normal hours of the day, I still get up early, maybe 5:30 or 6. And those are the best days for but best time of day for my imagination is that first thing in the morning, nice and
Mm.
fresh. But I've been reading more lately than I've had time to read in the past because I was always maybe reading a book for endorsement or rereading a book that needed edits or when some of my books were being made into movies, there were scripts to read and things. So I'm that's a different rhythm in that I'm reading a lot of different things, but that's so good for a writer to have all that different kind of smorgasbord of imagery to be motivated by different writers.
Hmm. Did you find one writer that kind of motivates you the most or?
Okay, Ruth, you're gonna love this because you have a book about Italy and book about Italy. And this one I just finished last week. I adored. It's called Restored in Tuscany. And it's not a novel, it's a true story of the author, Angela Corell. She and her husband, after going to Tuscany for many years, bought a place and renovated it. And this book tells the story. And I loved it. And I was reading it at night before I go to bed. And I'm sure a couple of those nights I was dreaming about the fountain in the center of the little village or the pasta they had for dinner that night.
Mm,
Because she just beautifully takes us along on this journey. And I love the way she did the comparison of how the Lord was renovating her heart and restoring
mm.
some things that had been some great losses in her life. So yeah, Restored in Tuscany, Angela Carell. Um, yeah.
Okay.
And now
I'm
I
gonna go
can't
get
wait to
that
read.
book.
I know, and I can't wait to read yours, Ruth. How fun.
Thank you. Oh, that sounds perfect because my next book is set in Florence and then in Tuscany. So, yeah, that's perfect. I'm going to get that book definitely. Well, let's talk about Gelato at the Villa, book 2 in your Suitcase Sisters series. Tell us about this story.
Well, the first one, two friends went to Africa, to Kenya, and went on a safari and had all kinds of adventure. And then I chose two different characters from the first book. So it's two brand new women who are close friends, and they they met through their reading. They liked to read and they were reading the same books and they got closer and closer in their friendship because of books. And it was always these armchair adventures of reading about other places or characters going somewhere. And they said, what about us? We should go. We should go. And um, one of the characters really wanted to take a cooking class in Tuscany because that's Claire, and that was kind of like her dream. And so Grace is not a chef or a cook, but she was like, well, yeah, sure, I'll go along for it. But the way that they both experience the beauty of northern Italy and the way that God just touches them is very different. And yet it's because of their friendship and their ability to really finally open up to each other, and share those deeper things, which happens a lot of times when you're traveling because you just have so much more time together and there's not the routine at home that pulls you away. And the beauty that comes out of that is life changing for both of them.
Oh, I can hardly wait to read. And so, what kind of, yeah, especially the cooking class, that's amazing. What kind of research did you have to do about Northern Italy?
Well, first of all, I should warn you, my editor, the first thing she wrote back to me in an email is, I think I gained 5 pounds just reading this book. We may need to put a disclaimer on it for all of the recipes and the pasta and
Oh,
everything. But I'd been to Italy a couple of times and had a couple favorite places that I was eager to write about. But I made up the villa, and in my imagination is the only place where this little village exists. There's so many in Tuscany that are similar, but I did not base it on an actual village, but sort of combine them all, morph them all, and was able to cut out pictures from magazines and look up pictures online and put together like my whole little village and villa and the inside, the way that the garden was set up and the trellis and the patio, so that the scenes that happen there were so vivid in my imagination. So the preparation had been from a lot of different visuals that put all these little pieces together to create a place that does not exist in real life, but it sure could because it was drawn from real life places, and then blend that with memories of what I'd been there. Um, it just, yeah, it feels like I think I'm going to get people requesting. So these characters stayed at this villa and took the cooking class there. I can't find it online. I'll sign up for class. Sorry. I know
that's
there's plenty
cute.
other ones, but this was just all made up.
Yeah, that's true. There are plenty, that's for sure. It's so funny because I am writing book three in my Love and Romance in Italy series, set in the Tuscan villa, areas and Florence. And when I was brainstorming the story, I knew it was going to be about these three friends in their 50s who are traveling together again. And so I just went to AI and I said, what activities are there to do in this region for 350-year-old, women and blah, blah, blah. And it listed a few. And then it said a cooking class. And I went, oh, I didn't even think about that. And then, I kind of put it aside because I had two other books that I was writing. And then I started flipping through the channels a couple months ago on TV. And sure enough, there was one that said cooking in Tuscany. And I went, oh, there it is, a cooking class. So I started
Wow.
watching it. And then the actor Stanley Tucci lives in Italy with his wife, and he was touring Florence on his show, and we started watching that. And sure enough, he was doing a cooking class. And so I take it as a message from the Lord to have a cooking class in my story. So
That
I
is
love
so
that
fun.
you mentioned that.
Well, and I love that you mentioned because same thing. I started watching a variety of um, travel or cooking shows in Italy, and um, and I saved them all, so I'd have them in line up at Netflix and Amazon or whatever, so that when I wanted to watch something, I could just, oh, good, I haven't watched the next episode of Giovanni touring,
Hmm.
cooking, whatever it was. I forgot what the name was. But it was so funny because my husband came in and sat down and watched one. And the reason I turned it on is because he was doing something else and I knew, okay, I'll just watch this. But he got so into it and he was like, well, let's watch the next one. Well, have you ever tried making that? Well, could we, what do we need? It is, it's just, there's something you can almost smell the food when you see it on those TV shows as they're cooking and oh,
And the regions are so different. The Florentine food is different than in Venice, and that's
yeah.
different than Rome or Naples. So I'm definitely enjoying the research about that, the different meals and the differences in the pastas and everything. So how
And there's
significant?
the cookie. Okay, so there's a cookie that they discover when they're on the island of Burano, not
Oh, yes. I've been to Burano. Yes.
yes, but on Burano. And I went to a friend of mine who is a fabulous chef and also has a lot of followers on her Instagram account because she's always trying to make new things she hasn't made before. And she does these darling videos of them. And anyways, I said, have you ever made this? I think it's called Busola cookies. And she said, no, but I want to try. So she made them. She brought a little bag tied with a ribbon over to my house that night.
Mhm.
And she said, you have to
Wow.
put these in the book. And so they already were in the book, but now we've added the recipe at the back. And they were
Oh,
delicious. They were really,
oh, wonderful. I can hardly wait to try those. Now, gelato.
oh yes.
We can't skip over that. I found that the gelato in Venice was vastly different than in Murano, and then in Rome. Very, very different.
Yep.
So, how special is gelato? All the food, basically. How significant is the food in your story?
What is so fun with the characters is that they sort of start a rating system with the gelato. Okay, well, let's try this place. Okay, what haven't we had yet? Okay, well, we have to try that kind and that kind. All right, this one, not so great, but and when they're at the villa, there's a garden there, and this it's springtime, it's May, and the strawberries are just at their peak. And so this man in the little village who makes gelato, he gets the strawberries from this little garden at the villa. And so they get to have the freshest of everything. And the thing is, when you have what in any of those cities you just mentioned, when you have gelato in Italy, anywhere, you come home and you try to find a place here, you try to buy it at the no, it's never ever the same. Never.
That's right. They're so different. And my son was asking, uh, what's the difference between gelato and ice cream? And immediately I just said the creaminess. It's so creamy and so
Mhm.
smooth. Oh, I just love that part of your story. I think that's amazing. So you use it as a chance, though, to bring out character traits in these women, because we all know making things, cooking together, traveling together can bring out some negative traits and also some positive ones. So how was it using traveling and, touring Italy as a writer? How did you use it to bring out these traits in your two characters?
I knew ahead of time that for Claire, she had been I don't want to give away the story, but Claire has something from her past that she hasn't resolved and had never told Grace. It's just nothing they've had ever talked about in the years and years of friendship. But being away from everything and these long hours where they're together or have a chance to talk, and I knew that Claire was going to face this past issue and see it resolved by the end of the book in a really tender way. But I realized that by putting that dilemma in Italy, every place they went, they were confronted with art, with beauty, with the story of the gospel. It's over and over, and there's such magnificent works of art that are just elevating God's predominance in the world, his story, his presence. And for Claire, it was this realizing that he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And one day all will be made right.
Mhm.
And when, especially any reader, I just prayed as I was writing it that any reader who has been treated unjustly and it's all just kind of been brushed aside and nobody knows the depth of that pain and there's no way to get justice from the situation at this point and it just puts you in this arm's length distance from God because why didn't he do something? Why didn't he, and for Claire, it's this realization that, oh yeah, he will. It,
Mhm.
he will, and all will be brought to light. And you just have a choice now how you choose to live and to be living in all the goodness and the power of understanding who you are in God and how that experience had that effect on you, but it doesn't name you. It doesn't, the experience doesn't change who you can become, but you have to let go of it. You have to make peace with the fact that it was wrong. It never should have happened. That's right. And God will make it right. And that's a hard tale to tell. And it's so important though. And what was really important to me in writing it was to show Grace as her friend, being able to role model what do you do when you're the friend listening to this story, and how do you come alongside and be able to um, be what that friend needs when they're finally being vulnerable enough to say, here's my situation. Because years and years and years, my husband was in ministry. I've just seen so much, I've heard so much, I've been in so many situations. And to be able to write a book felt really important to me to say, okay, this is how you can come alongside a really wounded soul and be the right kind of balance of support and encouragement to them. So
That's
there's, yeah,
beautiful.
there's gelato, yeah, there's cooking, but
Yeah, it's fun,
there is
but
a deep well of wow, life stuff. Yeah.
yeah, that's important though in our stories because we want to point our readers to God and how he works. But you also write these deep female friendships.
Yeah.
And how does this series differ then from Sister Chicks,
It's the same sort of thing that they're maybe when Sister Chicks came out, those 8 books were started over 20 years ago. And it was the market really was calling for more of a sort of chick lit and fun. And wouldn't that be great if we could actually go on a trip? Because it wasn't as typical 20 some years ago as it is now for two friends to take off and go to a cooking class in Tuscany.
hmm
And so I think maybe I'm seeing not as intentionally as, well, I don't know. I guess it wasn't really intentional, but however, in the end, the Suitcase Sister books have a little deeper issues. The issues go a little deeper, and the characters go a little deeper than in the Sister Chick books. And
hmm
yet, they're still having these adventures of a lifetime.
It's true. And I do find that sometimes the ordeal, it can be an ordeal to leave the United States to go to a foreign country. I mean, sometimes you've got travel delays and missed flights and missing suitcases. And so when you get to your final destination and you're enjoying the beauty, you forget all that
Yeah.
because you're looking at such spectacular beauty and you're eating the amazing food and you're deep in the experience. It's only when you get home you realize, oh yeah, it really was quite an ordeal to get there. And I find that that's similar to life. You have all these
Yes.
difficult things that you've endured, but as you get older, you're enjoying life a little bit more. And you can reflect on those hardships, but they don't form who you are anymore. They're not your identity anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's coming next? I mean, you have authored over 100 books. How do you keep coming up with these amazing ideas?
I don't know. They just come one at a time, and I haven't been able to ignore them yet and go on and do something else. The next Suitcase Sister story is going to be revealed pretty soon on social media, I'm sure, but I've written the book. It's with my editors right now. The title has been back and forth, so I don't know what the final title will be, but I took what was very fun about the third book was instead of taking best friends, I took two cousins, two women who are cousins. They grew up together. They're very, very, very close in age. Their moms, they were in the same neighborhood. Their moms used to dress them alike. And so everybody thought they were maybe like unidentical twins or something. But it's been a few years, and now they're going on this trip together after not having been in each other's lives all the time. But they have all that history. And it was really fun to pull that out. They can kind of tease each other and really pull out, oh, well, remember the time you did this? And so I really
Cute.
enjoyed them. They're fun.
Yeah, you'll be able to unpack, no pun intended, who they are. Oh, that's wonderful. And so folks can head to your website and sign up for your newsletter.
Yes, please do.
And that's at robingunn.com.
Yes.
Perfect. And so head over to robingunn.com to sign up so you'll know the title of this next book and you'll get to see the cover reveal and all kinds of good stuff. And can they shop and find your By the Sea book that released back in May?
Yes, it's wherever books are sold. I do have an online shop, robingunshop.com, and I have the Christy Miller books there in box sets and a lot of other books. We don't have By the Sea in the online shop yet, but we will before Christmas.
Ooh,
And
that's good. That's good timing.
yeah, and what was also really this turned out, it was my daughter's idea, and it turned out to be a very good idea. And that was we did book club boxes for Tea with Elephants. So at robingunshop.com, you can go in and see the book club box for Tea with Elephants. And it's basically we put the book together with um, the fun items for if you're going to host a book club. Here are some of the things you need. And the emails coming back from the women who got the book club box have been so encouraging because they just needed that little oomph, like just help me out. I kind of want to do a book club, but I've never done it before, so here you go.
Nice. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I love that. I'll have to go check it out. And Gelato at the Villa releases soon.
August 19th,
Oh, wonderful.
25. Woo!
Okay, so they can go pre-order it right now too, right?
Yes, and there are some pre-order specials going on at Barnes and Noble next week and at Baker Bookhouse. And of
Mhm.
course, it's all the other regular bookstore places. And
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so head out and pre-order Gelato at the Villa so you can be first to read it when it releases. And Robin, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with us about this beautiful new book, this wonderful new story. We can hardly wait to read it.
Ruth, would you tell me the title of your new book? Because I want to make sure I get pre-order that one too.
Well, I haven't done the title reveal just yet. I'm
Oh,
going to be
okay.
doing that. It's coming soon. The title and the cover will be
Oh,
revealed
good.
real soon.
Okay, I will watch for that.
Okay, great. Yeah, it'll be all over social media, so you'll see it, and I'll have it on my podcast and my newsletter too. So that's coming soon, but it will be set in Florence and the Tuscan area. Ooh, I can hardly wait to finish writing that one. I'm so hungry for Italian food now.
I know.
But thank you so much for
Real
chatting.
gelato to motivate us.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I think I just might have to head to Italy again this summer.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. Really enjoy it. Thanks, Ruth. Ciao.
Wasn't that great to listen to Robin talk about her next book, Gelato at the Villa, available for pre-order right now. And it just sounds so amazing. What a terrific study of deep female relationships and all those layers. And then, of course, the gelato and the food. Whew, makes me want to buy some tickets to Italy right now. But I can't, so that's okay. I'll read her book instead. And I just love how inspirational Robin is and how she's stayed with it. She inspires me to keep going on my writing journey, no matter what. And I hope that you have been inspired as well. Because like Robin, she puts these themes of hope and God's restoration in her stories. And you can do that too. So remember, someone out there needs to read your story. So don't give up. And thanks so much for listening. And until next time, God bless.